Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications before we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, links are below to our Discord, our free options trading group on Facebook. If you're here right now, thank you so much for waiting a little bit late today. We are at, let's see here, we got Keith, what's going on? Jeff, Mateus, how we doing? Staying away from Netflix. Chewy recovered at the end of the day. Looks like it still got potential for more. Yeah, so I did trade Chewy. I'm just looking at right now. Right now, GameStop is down almost $1.50. It hit 5, now it's at 5.30, so it's down $1.20. I don't know what the consensus was on there. Let's see here. I'm guessing it wasn't good. I don't know. I have to look at what the report was. Oh, so let's see here. Daniel, how you doing? If you're here right now, say what up. If you made money today, comment got paid. If you lost money today, comment learned a lesson. Looks like it came in at, they were expected to be up 10 cents a share estimated. Instead, they're down. They went negative 49 cents. Oof. I don't know what Michael Burry sees in GameStop, but I'm not seeing it. I mean, the only thing that I saw in GameStop was in the last few months, it's up 100. Well, it went up 100% from $3 up to 6 or 7, but I don't know. I mean, the one thing that I was thinking about with GameStop was that they are closing stores and laying off people, which helps with the bottom line. I know it's not good for like employees and stuff, but usually that helps out. So we'll see what happens. But let's kick things off. Let's see what was going on with my trades today. So kind of interesting today. My first trade was I closed Chewy at market open, 2 minutes into market open. So Chewy, if you guys were here yesterday, I sold. I guess you could call it. It was at the money. It was an at the money Iron Condor. I sold it for $2.48. I bought it back for $1.95. So I made about 20% on the Chewy Iron Condor. Chewy ended up being relatively flat. Let me go into just so you guys can view it. And I did it for next week too. I didn't do it for this week. It was, let's see what it's worth now. So I sold the 24 put. So I had the 24 put and bought the 20 put, and I sold the 24 and a half and the 28 and a half. Sold this and the 28 and a half. So yeah, this is now going for $1.80. Well, I guess I bought it back for $1.95. So so this is what it looked like. My profit potential, was between, at the time it was more because these were worth more. I didn't want to go below 21.50. It had to be above 21.50, and it had to be below 27 at the time. And Chewy, let's see here. So Chewy missed, and they went all the way up to $26. So even as you can see here, how much premium that got sucked out of there. Look at the implied volatility. I mean, implied volatility. This thing just dropped. So, thankfully, it opened flat. I was able to get out. Not a lot of drama, but I had a pretty wide range, and this came down pretty nice. Implied volatility was pretty high before earnings on Chewy. So thankful for that. then the rest were. Let me talk about SPY for a second. So SPY, I actually got squeezed out on SPY this morning. So yesterday SPY. Let's see here. So you can see here. Yesterday on SPY, I had a call credit spread. I sold the 315 call, bought the 316 call for 54 cents. I only made $3 on it. And actually, I got squeezed out because we actually gapped down. We actually were going to gap down on a report from that we're not coming to believe in your trade. The problem is, Daniel, where I got messed up was the trade news. So there was news outlets were saying that there's a potential that the tariffs are going to be delayed, which caused the market to rally, and then it opened, it dipped down a little bit, and then when it got up into this area, it was then confirmed that that was not actually true. So Kudlow said that is not actually true, and then we started to kind of float between red and green. So I didn't want to push it. Right now, because of the sideways action, I didn't. Thankfully, I didn't close it out for a loss. But if you look at SPY, I had Monday, so I had December 16th. I closed it out at 51 cents. These are now going for 23 cents. So could have made 50%, but I really just been trading really small this week. Like, I haven't been risking a lot because last week I was on a red week, and then I'm coming off a red week, and then this week I don't know what's going to happen with the trade news. We have the Fed tomorrow, which we're pretty sure we know what's going to happen there, but really anything can happen with the Fed or the trade news or the tariffs. So just been trading relatively small. Like, that was only $50 in risk. So closed that, only made $3. Chewy made $53 on it, 20%. CGC I made 20% on it as well. Closed that out. CGC, so I've been talking about it for a few days, or since yesterday, I guess. In the Discord, I was saying like around 21.50. I was looking to short that. So CGC had news of the CEO. They're getting a new CEO. Pumped the stock yesterday, and then at 21.50, this is what I've been looking at. This area here around 21.50. On November 8th, we hit 21.50, 21.60, came back down to $13. Then again on November 21st, then we dropped back down to $17. And then again yesterday and today, we pushed at open to 21.68, and then we dropped. On this drop right in here at 8.48, I bought the 21 put for next week. So I bought an in the money put. So I bought the 21 put for $1.48, sold it for $1.79. So we made about 20% on that. I didn't want to hold it overnight, just because I wanted to reduce risk, and it looked like it wanted to bounce, and it did come back up a little bit. I closed it out at 140, which is right in here. So I caught it when it was right below 20. It was like 1990 or something like that. So I closed it out. So that was a pretty decent trade. TNDM, I opened a position on. TNDM, if you don't know what it is, they're Tandem Diabetes. They make like an insulin pump for diabetes to help regulate blood sugar. I've owned stock in the past. I bought it like in the 20s. I sold it for in the 40s. I don't currently have a stock position on them. But TNDM, they recently also got weekly options. They used to only be trading in the monthlies. Liquidity is not that good. Bid and the ask is not that bad. You kind of have to play with the pricing, but I'm not looking for this trade. I'm not looking to get in and get out. This is more of a swing trade. what I'm looking at here, just overall support and resistance, around the 70 area has trouble, 71, 72. So anywhere above 70, 71 to 72 range, we have trouble up in here where we've had trouble in the past pretty much all year. It hasn't been able to really break above 74, 75 area. So that was a short. This has dropped from 72 down to 58. And what I'm looking at here was the bounce at 58 is when I started to put my position on, because it bounced pretty hard here after selling off for a week, bounced pretty hard, and then pretty much held all day in this area. I mean, it did give some back here at the end of the day. I was up money on that position as well, but because it laid flat, theta and just implied volatility was decreasing. So for 250 for next week, I bought the 60 call. So I've been buying in the money, just because the market's so slow. I've been buying my options in the money. So the same thing with TNDM. I did as well with CGC. Sorry, mind blank right there. So I have for next week. So I have the 60 call. My goal here is to hit really like the 63 area, which I think that could really do. So we'll see what happens with TNDM. But right now I'm down on this $13, 5% on that trade. At one point today, I was up about 10%, 10 to 15% on it. Now I'm down 5%. So we'll see what happens, just because it had a little bit of a sell off at the end of the day there. Yo, Jim, what's going on? If you're here right now, say what up. So that's TNDM. It's a ticker that I haven't really traded options on, but I am familiar with. I have owned stock on them, but yeah. PTON, Peloton, I'm actually short. So Peloton, I am short. I'm short 2 of the 33 calls, and I bought 2 of the 34 calls. So I have a call credit spread. I got 44 cents in credit for it. Currently up small, about $8, 9% on this trade. Peloton was actually, I'm going to show you guys here. And actually, let me bring up. So if you guys are not familiar with Peloton, they make the, let me show you. I don't know if you guys are or not. They make these bikes that are really expensive for you. So they have these bikes, and they have the classes, and they sell these. These are like $2,000 to $3,000 plus you have to pay like $80 a month or $50 a month for the online class and to be a part of this. So they have the classes, and then they have you can finance the bike if you want. Let's go to that's reviews. So that's the bike. But what I was looking at here was, so Peloton. I've been watching them for a while. They've been, after earnings, they've ripped from 22 up to 37. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Let me know if you guys are familiar with Citron Research. So Citron Research is basically they're more bearish. They how do I say it without being I guess sounding biased? Citron Research is, it's either the activist short seller top 5. They're mostly short sellers, and they look for, and sometimes they downgraded. One time I had an issue a couple of years ago where I was long Shopify. This is a couple of years ago, and they were saying, Citron Research said Shopify is a scam. They actually don't make that much money, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, they were entirely wrong with Shopify. Citron Research was 100% wrong, because, I mean, as you guys know, Shopify is what now? $368. When I was trading it, it was like under 100, and it was like $100 or something like that. Now it's $368. But with the recommendation shorting it, they tanked it for many days and months. They tanked it, and it was very skewed. It was a very rough time. But what I do, I follow them on Twitter and I have notifications turned on to look for opportunities. And today, Peloton was one of those opportunities. I do agree with them that Peloton is overpriced. You know, they're 20. So Citron's target price is a bit ambitious. Their target price is $5. It says, unless Peloton makes a machine that works out for you, we'll be laughing at 10 billion valuation in a year. Must see chart on the page, homepage of the story. So Citron, their price target's, you know, $5. They have their whole research thing in here. You know, right now, this is what the value of the stock is compared to all these other companies. But essentially, I'm just looking for a catalyst to push it back down into the 30 area. I'm looking to come back down to 30 or 28, 29. That's why I kind of went the safe method. I'm not buying puts because IV was relatively high, and IV has been relatively high ever since they had that commercial that's they're calling sexist and stuff, and they were having some issues. So that's why the stock has been kind of peeing. But these are some pretty big bars. I mean, it IPO'd at like 25, came down to 20. Now it's at 30. Went up to 37. Now it's at 32, and it's been holding. I mean, this got cut down quick. You know, once this kind of topped out here at 34.50, this just fell apart. So, needless to say, yeah, Citron are not nice. Go ahead, say it. Citron is not nice. Yeah, they screwed me in the past, but we're gonna make our money back. We've made our money back off Citron. So, you know, this was a trade that I could get behind with was Peloton. So I also have next week. So I'm not looking to, in this low volatility environment, I'm not looking to trade the weekly options. I haven't been doing that. It has to be at least 10 days or longer out. So I'm looking at next week expiration, probably starting tomorrow. I'm going to be pushing out the following week. You know, right now, the thing is, I don't know what's going to happen with the trade war. So I'm mainly sticking to stocks that aren't trade war really impacting, like Tandem and Peloton and CGC. Those are not really impacted by the tariffs. So we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm trading the December 20th. Probably starting tomorrow or Thursday, I'm going to be moving into the December 27th on most. I was actually going to sell some premium on SPX. I didn't like where we were with the pricing, and if the trade war, I just don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on the trade war? I don't know what's going to happen with the trade war. These have for December 16th. These have a $40 expected move, and we can move. You know, we can move $50. I think we can move $50 to $80 if things get kind of dicey on SPX. You know, if there's no. I don't know why the market is pricing in. So my question is, the market right now is pricing in, I would say, more of a deal if we look at SPX or SPY. You know, the market hasn't sold off any. So are we going to have a deal or are we not going to have a deal? And we haven't had a deal in a couple of years. I'm thinking that they're not going to come in agreement, but are there going to be concessions? Are they going to not do tariffs? Are they going to... I mean, I guess it depends. And then also today, you know, Trump was all crazy because of the whole impeachment. The House had the press conference first thing before market, or during market open, actually. And Trump has just been tweeting like a madman. Just all about this... this impeachment, you know, whether it's right or wrong or whatever the case is. I mean, it's just distracting. It's overall, I would say it's very distracting. So what stocks you guys looking at? Netflix, actually, one trade that I was looking at today, I was going to sell let me pull up Netflix here. I was actually going to sell, actually still have it in here. For next week, I was going to sell a call credit spread. I was looking at 297.50, and then the 300 a pot, I would have made money because this was going for over $1 at the time. This was like $1.15. Now it's going for 84 cents. But Netflix really just fell apart after it pressed 98 a couple times, and then this afternoon it just ripped down to 293. Now they had a downgrade last night, so people were saying that this was a hit job and stuff, so I wasn't really sure which direction it was going to go. But if you're looking at the 1 year chart, you know, now that we're below 300 again, I mean, is it going to have difficulty trying to get back above? I mean, it took a while for it to try to break above. I mean, this whole area in October, we had a lot of trouble trying to get back above 300. It kept trying to push it, and it just couldn't do it until we finally had a catalyst, and now we're back below the 300 mark. So, according to Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg, at this minute, looks like the most people are expecting the U.S. to hold off, postpone additional tariffs scheduled for this Sunday, but who knows? Yeah. I mean, Trump could be pissed off and just says we're going to do the tariffs, which is kind of interesting. There's really no checks and balance for that, you know? Like, I don't know. I'm not a politician, but, you know, I think that our government we're supposed to have checks and balances, and it seems that an individual such as the president just can issue tariffs however he likes. I don't know, but apparently that's that's the case. So that being said, I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen with the trade war. Nobody has an idea, but right now it's being priced in that nothing's going to happen right now. Because if there was a lot of fear, you know, VIX is back under 16. It's above 15 though. It came down a little bit today, but I mean, VIX was actually running pretty hot today. VIX was up to, it pushed 17 actually, came back down to under 16. But things are getting a little bit more exciting, as you can see here. If you're looking at the VIX, things are a lot more exciting than they were in October. October was terrible in terms of the VIX. You know, September we had some nice excitement. VIX was all over the place, so that makes for some good option trading. So this is what we like. And down in here, not so much. Not so much fun option trading in here. If you want to buy stock and hold it, fine. But option trading in this kind of area is not so much fun. But now that the VIX is starting to come alive again, I think that we're going to have some opportunities. And as you can see, I found a couple opportunities today. And I think for myself, I'm happy with where, in terms of my mindset from last week, was I was kind of all over the place and I was rushing into trades because volatility. Got a little excited last week because volatility picked up for the first time in a long time. And, you know, it was like prom night all over again, you know? Get a little too excited and... Anyways, any stocks you guys want to look at before I sign off here? You guys getting ready for the holidays, get some time off. Apple was actually green today. They pushed it up, but they sold it off pretty hard yesterday. I mean, wish I caught this yesterday. 69 down to 65. This was nice. And then it ripped back up. So, in my mind, it doesn't really pay to hold those type of trades, you know, for Apple. Because it was right back up here. You would have made money and then hold it. A lot of people hold these types of charts thinking it's just a pop up and going to have continuation, but the trade news with the tariffs is what made this thing just skyrocket, you know. So the trade news is definitely the driver. Tobin Cons. See here, so they had earnings. Looks like they beat on EPS, but I don't know. Did they lower guidance? I'm not too familiar with this stock, but I mean now it's looking bad. I mean they're at a 52-week low right now. Let's see, is it multi-year? So they must have issued bad guidance then to drop the stock like that, because they beat on EPS, but I mean they're at a multi-year low now. This could keep dropping. So the last time, let me show you here. Last time they were down this low was back in 2017 area. So it doesn't look good. This could definitely, now that it's here, drop back down to 7 or 8. Keith, Lulu. Yeah, I'm actually looking for a Lulu trade as well, Lululemon. So Lululemon has earnings this week. Now, for me personally, I mean, I'm bullish on it, but I honestly think that it's priced in. I'm thinking that this ran really hard pre-earnings here into the holidays. I'm thinking it's priced in, so I'm looking for more of a neutral play on Lulu. I don't think they're going to tank. But at the same time, because of this massive run from 190 up to 233, I mean, it went up $40. The stock went up $40. I'm thinking that it's going to be priced in. Right now, they're pricing in $17 move on Lululemon. So for Lululemon, I'm probably looking at something. I'll probably play. Well, it's kind of low. I mean, let's see here. I'm probably looking at something like this, or maybe I'll bring it in a little bit. So I'm looking at something like this. You know, I'm gonna try to get something for like $1.20 credit or so, and maybe do 2 of them. But I'm looking for maybe like the 247, 250 area, and then like the 210, 212 area is what I'm thinking of. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. Teva's been falling apart here. Teva is now at 950, so it's below 10. I mean, still doing, the run here is still intact, but now that's below 10. Is it going to ping between 9 and 10 now? That is the question. I'd like to see if we can stabilize and then reverse. I mean, we had a nice run from 7 up to 11, tapped 11. But right now it's selling off. I feel like it needs some sort of catalyst to push it a little bit higher. But I think that what I'm looking for on Teva would be to kind of stabilize between 9 and 10 before having the next leg up. But right now it looks like it's going to try to, retest the lower 9 area, like 920, 915 area on Teva. But this could easily reverse too. Teva is kind of an interesting stock because it easily it really does what it wants, and it can reverse at any time. I mean, if you look back on here on last week, this dropped below 10 and got saved multiple times. Dropped below 10 here, got saved. Had a really ugly day here, then got saved, and then we're still in a downtrend here. So since 1050, we're more in lines in a downtrend. So right now it's still trending down. Let's see here if we can. Let's draw. So looking like this, where it's topping out here at 11. Let me change my cursor back to. So it really needed to break like the 1060 area to get back up in there. So we'll see if it keeps following this trend down and see what happens at 9. But that's kind of what I'm looking at in Teva. But they could also have news. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens once it approaches 9. So if it looks like it's going to hit 9 and it wants to balance, I'll load in some calls. But if it doesn't, then we could retest 8 pretty easily. 8 has pretty good support, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, I definitely appreciate you guys. Sorry that I was late. I'm going to be working on a watch list as well. As always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.